Today on the channel, the wait is finally over as we shake, rattler, and roll with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab Rattler.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another G.I. Joe Classified Series unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we got a big beefy one. As the wait is finally over, the latest and greatest Haslab is here with the Rattler. But for all your Haslab needs, like the Snowcat that's going on right now, check out Hasbro Pulse. But for everything else under the sun, hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code KYLE. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there. And deal I got, we all got with this Rattler, hopefully. And of course, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all of the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And the Rattler here, one of the key primary vehicles in the Cobra arsenal of vehicles, of course. As a little kid, I did not have the Rattler. I had the Tiger Force version. It was like the not the Dragonfly. I forget what it was called. Something that came with like Muskrat as the driver, who I really did like. So I had that one once upon a time, and we heard at San Diego Comic-Con, sounds like some of these Haslabs we could get as standard offerings in the future without all the bells and whistles, stickers, accessories, some of the light up features and stuff. Get a dialed back version. And me personally, I would be okay with that for the Haslab versions. Let's get the Haslab prices down a little bit. As cool as the Snowcat is with all the lights and stuff, I don't need those lights. I'd forego that kind of stuff if it would bring the price down. That's just me personally talking there. But it'll be interesting to see where some of these Haslabs go in the future. But we got the Snowcat going on right now. I know some people love it. Some people don't like it. I personally love it. The Snowcat was a favorite vehicle of mine as a child, so I'm here for it. But it's not funding like the other ones, the Dragonfly in this one, and of course the Hiss along the way. So we'll see what the adventure with the Snowcat happens. I'm sure it will at least fund, just not sure about the extras. We'll see. We'll stay tuned to that in the toy news videos, of course. And make sure you subscribe to this channel while you're here, of course, as well. Now, I already did unbox the figures for the Haslab here. Whenever I unbox these Haslabs, I always do the figures separately. So I did do the Rattler Gunner, Wild Weasel, and the Baroness in a separate video. Check that one out if you want to. This one is about the Rattler and all the stuff that's going on here. And of course, these big unboxings, these big vehicles, very overwhelming to unbox. It's like, where do you start? They take up a lot of room. It's easy on camera here with just a figure, but you got all this kind of stuff going on. So we'll have to break it out. We'll have to cut away a few times or two. But let's start it off. And of course, came to the door via FedEx. All FedEx. They got me for my signature once again, but came very well protected in a box. My outer box had a ding cut through it, but there was a box inside of that box, which led to this box, corner protectors on it. It was very well protected. 3 boxes inside of this box. So there was a lot of protection for the Rattler. So I don't know if anybody got a broken Rattler. I'm sure somebody did, but it was a little harder to do than some of the other figures we get over the years. So we did get that. Getting out of here, we got this packaging right here. Very fabulous packaging on this one. You got to save the packaging. I'm a guy that usually chucks the packaging to the garbage, recycling. Not this. I saved my Haslab. So you got the Rattler looking only like a Rattler could look right there. Very cool packaging design. G.I. Joe logo down low in red, looking beautiful as well. Just fabulous artwork there. Cobra Airborne back here. How cool is that? Looking very nice as well. Then we get the standard kind of on this side here of the diagram, I guess, of what's going on. Kind of calling out some of the features of the Rattler. And we'll call them out as we get it at the table, of course, as well. We do got a little bit of a readout down here on the bottom. What does it say? All right. Okay. Push button activates illuminated instrument control panels, exterior landing lights, and battle damage panel. Articulated wings pivot for simulated VTOL and fold upright to reduce width. Cockpit and turret features articulated control sticks, tactical flight displays, and 3-point harness. Spring-loaded landing gear displays functional wheels for taxiing, detachable armaments to customize your ground attack jet loadout, 360-degree rotating turret with twin cannons that pivot up and down, articulated detail, stowable boarding ladder, battle-damaged armor plating, hinged engine cowlings, manual spinning fans, and nose cannon. Manually spinning front cannon makes rattle sound, just like a Rattler. How about that? Some more artwork on the side, some of the bombs, missiles being dropped, and a little action over here as well. So a heavy, heavy box, as you can imagine. This does take batteries. It does take AA batteries, 3 of them to be exact. Don't read between the lines here, whatever you do, but it does take 3 of those. So this is a big box, and we did inside of that box, there's a box inside of a box, and you get the gist by now if you've ever unboxed these Haslabs. But we do got some extra stuff. Before we get to the Rattler, we're going to go through, of course, you do get your instructions. These are obviously key. I'm always scared. I'm always checking it. A lot of times I don't look at the instructions, but a pricey vehicle like this, $350+, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. So I did dive through those instructions. And then I was thinking about doing a separate video on these because they're so important to the overall performance of the vehicle, the playability of the vehicle, and really how this got funded. And this is the reason these got funded, of course, the patches. Everybody went crazy for the patches. Everybody wanted these patches. I know I'm going to be putting these on some of my battle jackets and stuff like that. Probably not, but I don't know anybody that really wanted these patches. That was really not reading the room by Hasbro. I personally felt on these, but we did get that Cobra Rattler patch right there. The Cobra Airborne 84 Squadron, the Fly Swatters. Of course, that gunner is a member of these here, so we do got that, the Fly Swatters. Very interesting looking on there. And then we do got the Fang CFC Z06, which is the lettering that's on the Rattler. The Tank Smash'em, the Tank Smashers, easy for me to say. Fearsome, so you got a little spider there, Cobra. So we did get our 3 patches, which were part of the bonus unlock tiers. Probably the worst tier of any Haslab I've ever seen. Nobody wanted these. They're cool for what they are, but they don't belong with this. Maybe if you're having a Haslab battle jacket, and maybe that's a good tier, but I don't know. Didn't really work for me. You guys sound off on those in the comments below. But now it gets a little confusing here. And historically, me personally, now this is me personally, you may be different. I don't put these stickers on my Haslabs because I don't want to be settled into something. It's like, you want to do it, but you don't do it. I don't know. That's me. But you got all these different sticker sets here that you can really customize your Rattler. But I'm just scared I'm going to put this on, and then a week later, why did I put that on there? And then you ruin the sticker back and forth. It's a whole rigmarole. I don't recommend it. But we got a whole sheet of stickers right here. Check, fuel, rescue, restricted area, don't put your hand there, danger, Cobra logos, different sizes, tons and tons there. Then we get a whole nother sheet of stickers here. And these are primo stickers. You can see the silver backing on this one right here. It says Rattle Hiss. You got Baroness riding a bomb there. You got Cobra Commander on his steed down here. What are we doing there? Looking absolutely wild. My family is deadlier. That's pretty cheesy there. You got some, the bus wars, although those were the days. I got a good bus story from when I got kicked off Metro Transit in my city. They threw me off the bus forever and I was banned. I guess I'm still banned. I was banned forever from the bus. So that's a good podcast story one of these days. Rat-a-tat-tat going on here. Wild Weasel, all kinds of stuff. And then the last sheet, you got all kinds of stuff to really make that Rattler your own. Cobra logos, you got the Cobra Snake. You got like a boar going on there. Or is it a wild weasel? I don't know. It could be. But 3 sheets of stickers. I'm going to put them back in this box and just never see these again, basically. And it does take some fun out of it. But at the same time, I can't make a choice. Maybe if I bought 3 or 4 of these, I could. It's just me. I don't recommend it. But now, I'm going to dive off onto some accessories I didn't use. We're going to pull the Rattler out here in a second. But some of the extra accessories, like we got the ladder here. So we got a little ladder. We see that with the Sky Striker. We see it with the Cobra Rattler as well. Stick this up. You climb up to get in there. A nice little touch there is that ladder. We do got a couple of, missile launchers. I don't know what you call these here. But of course, the Rattler, you peg up all the missiles underneath the wings. And these are 2 you can use. You can choose your own venture, design them how you want to, go back and forth, leave some on, leave some out. These 2 were off of this, so I didn't end up using those. You got the big effect pieces here. You want to put a big old missile through the air. You can have this on your Rattler. So you got the fire and the smoke on the back end, looking very cool right there. You do got a couple of extra of these. These are what pin up underneath the wings to put these attached to. So if you don't use the stand, you can use those. But if you're using the stand, which you're going to see here in a second, you can't use those. We got many different effect pieces here. You got to have those effect pieces, blue and orange ones. So you just plug those in. These even plug in on here, if I'm not mistaken. You can plug them right in there. So they're shooting away down there at the old Joe team. Unfortunately for the Joes, they're getting bombarded from the sky. So we do got some of that. And then we do got a second panel here. We'll show that when we get down to the Rattler as well. And I did mention that flight stand. This is a big, big flight stand. I don't know about you guys. I've been playing around with it. I'm having some trouble keeping my top part on. It's supposed to click into place. Mine's not as tight as I want it to, so I'm having a little bit of trouble there. But you can store the Rattler on top of here, just like the Dragonfly had one of these, very similar. Nice flight stand, and then of course, you can store your extra missiles. If you're not gonna use everything, it's a great storage thing. And then on top of that there, you get a nice little drawer down here below. So you don't wanna put any of these on there. Just store them underneath there, store them away. You can have everything stored together, which I really appreciate there, because there's nothing worse than having baggies of these kind of things, getting lost in your collection somewhere. Now you can put everything in the Rattler together. This is probably how I'm going to display this one. I am thinking about possibly hanging it from the ceiling in my G.I. Joe room. Good friend of the channel, Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane, just got done hanging his Dragonfly and Rattler. I'm thinking I may end up doing that. We'll see. I guess stay tuned in future toy room visits if we ever do that again on the channel. The toy room tours. Maybe you'll see that. Maybe you won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future there. But I do like that everything is self-contained. You can store everything. But there's a lot going on with this Rattler, as you're going to see. But this is just some of the stuff I didn't even use for the beginnings of the Rattler here. So a lot of stuff, beautiful packaging, a beautiful thing. But now here we are 11 minutes into the video. It's time to finally get into the Cobra Rattler. All right, let's get down to Rattler business. And as I said, very overwhelming, as this takes up a lot of real estate, almost as big as my whole table, as you can see right here. We're going to rattle right in there, of course, flying right in here. But man, oh man, this is a big one. Beefy. I think the packaging weighed about 25 pounds. I have to think this is about, I don't know, 10 pounds, something like that. So it is a beefy, beefy boy, this Rattler. Of course, this one is not with stickers on it. As I said, I'm not putting the stickers on, at least anytime soon. No stickers on this, so this is a plain Jane model. And I guess we'll dive into this. We'll start right up there at the front here. We do got that gun right up there, and it does turn. You got the little sliding piece. So you can hear that kind of fire off there, and you can put the effect pieces in here as well, so you can be blasting out there if you want to. Choose your own adventure. Now, you do get the cockpit on this one. This one does come right off, and this one does hinge up. Of course, Wild Weasel going to hop right in that cockpit, ready to go. We will get to the lights on this one here in a little bit, but it all does light up, and there is a button right back behind the gunner position that you can light up. Now, inside here, you do got the thruster. I guess you can actually pull the handle back and forth down. Of course, 3-point harness going on here. Nice readout computer screen for, of course, Wild Weasel again, and it does light up in red colors. And does even go back and forth a little bit. There's different settings on here, and it took me a while to figure out how to turn this off. It apparently turns off on its own, but I guess I can hit that right now. You hit this button, and things do light up, as we can see. Inside the cockpit lights up. You do get some lights underneath here over on the wings. Some different lights. I guess you could use it as a night light if you really wanted to. So we do got some options there, but a very nice cockpit here going on. You got all kinds of stuff going on. It is very bright in there as well, which is really cool. And then the windows all placed right back together like so. Easy as that. Now, on the side here, this does unlatch if you want to. As you can see right here, comes on out. And then I did bring up, and we showed this earlier, this is like a battle damaged edition. So if you want that Wild Weasel, he was all torn to shreds, you could put this one in here. You could choose your own adventure or leave it blank if you want to, but a little customization action with some of the battle damage on the Rattler right here. Looking very good. Now, going back up to here is where the gunner position is. Of course, we do get the gunner. We did unbox that with Baroness and Wild Weasel in a separate video. Check it out. This canopy does come up, and you put the figure right down in there. You got the 3-point harness once again, light up inside of there. We've seen it over here. We see it back here. So a lot of lights going on. And then, of course, you get to get the gun right here. Does articulate up and down. You can move it side to side however you want to. You can put the effect pieces once again in the end of the cannons here. Looking very good, very fun. Put the gunner in there and you got a spot. Now, unfortunately, Baroness, she doesn't have room in here. You got Wild Weasel and the gunner. I guess Baroness could hang on a wing or something, but I guess she's destined for a traditional shelf, waiting for a chance to fly the Rattler, I guess is what she's waiting for. But you do get that option there. Now moving to the back, of course, you got that kind of, I don't know, turbine. What do you call this back here? It does actually spin around, but you do got that turbine, I guess, moving it here. So you do have this here. And then you got the wings in the back. Now those had to be plugged in, and you got to obviously match up the right sides and everything. You got the no step there. Of course, the Joes and Cobras, they're so worried about stepping on stuff. You always got the no step going on back there. You do got, of course, the fins on the back. You got the Cobra logo, and then this says Z06 over here. So for those keeping track at home, you do got air pad lift over here. No stickers on these. These are just actually painted in here. Now this one says jet fuel only. And of course, I think they started putting those on planes. Todd McFarlane, fact check that if you would. They put jet fuel only on these because, of course, Duke, as you can imagine, Duke did it on a Sky Striker one time. He filled it with just traditional gasoline. I think it was like E85. He put that in all the Sky Strikers, and none of them worked. They all were ruined. It was millions of dollars it cost us taxpayers there. Cobra got wind of that, of course, because they got spies, because Duke doesn't run a clean ship. He let some of them spies in. So then they had to put that on all the Rattlers and everything. We don't want any Duke-type people trying to put in E85 gasoline. So jet fuel only. They had to put that on there for them. Fuel over here, and on the other side, as I talked about, you do got the button right here that does all the different lights. Kind of hard to show right here, but you can push through it, cycle through a bunch of different lights, then you just leave it off or leave it on for a while. I think after 2 minutes, it said in the instructions, the lights just automatically turn off. Once again, I don't really need these bells and whistles because I know the Dragonfly, I ran through it like once or twice when I got it. Besides that, it just sits on my shelf on display. I don't sit there and go through the lights on these. So it is a little cool thing to have for the total presentation. But I think most of us collectors, being adult collectors, we're not turning these things on all the time. So I think a lot of us would say, hey, we could save $50 on the price of this without lights. You know what? I think I will take the more basic model. Maybe that's just me personally. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments on that. But then now we're getting into the middle section, or I guess the wing section here. Now the wings do turn up. That was one of the cool things with the Rattler, as we've seen before. You hear that shake? That rattle, I guess we'll call it. It is from one of these bombs. It has the little like almost BBs inside of there that gives a little rattle sound. And at first I was bringing this down into my basement. I was like, wait, what is that rattling? Is there a loose piece floating around in there? But it's actually just that shaking around. So you got to know that. Now you got all kinds of missiles with this thing, and it truly is choose your own adventure. Do it however you want to, whatever looks best for you. I just put these in uniform, just threw them up as fast as I could do it. Put them that way. I put the three big little bombs on the end that all connect together. You got the nice Rattler bomb. And then we got these cool, really specific bombs here. One in gray, one in black. They got, I was going to say sticker, but I guess painted on here. Give them a little extra class. It looks like what Baroness is riding on that one sticker we showed earlier. So you got the options there. And then, of course, you got a traditional one. And then you got that big effect piece you can connect to here if you want to. If you want to have it look like one of those are spraying off into the Joe land or something like that. But it does look very, very nice. Really do like how you can move these up. Of course, just like the old Rattler of Once Upon a Time. There is a release button on the bottom. Oh, my gosh. Right over here. Now, that release button, I'll put this back in, I guess, what I should probably do. There's a release button on the bottom right here. You hit this. Knocks all the legs out there, of course, all the landing gear for the tires. The tires all do spin. They do have that going on there. Looking very, very nice. And then, of course, I talked about that stand for it. You got the plug-in right here for the 4. Now, if you don't want to use the stand, you can we're really blasting some lights out there. You can plug in some more of these, put 2 more bombs under here if you want to. So if you don't want to use that flight stand, you can put 2 more bombs under there if that is your thing as well. There's a lot of ways to go about this Rattler here, and it is fairly heavy once you hold it for a while. I do like that whoa, there we go. So I move it around here. Can I get it? There's just not enough room for something like this, but the wings do come up for us here. Like so, maybe. I gotta hit that release once again. There we go, maybe. There's the release on the back here somewhere. Where is that? Oh, here it is right here. So it is hard to see, but there is another release. Gosh, if I can find it. There we go, right here. So you release this, pull that out, maybe. There we go. So you release easy for me to say, easy for me to show, but there's a little release button for each wing. You hit that and it pulls this out, and then you can put these up that way. So you can fold it up like this, or you can fold it off to the side here. And that does save you a lot of space as far as displayability. Very hard to find there though, but you can, hard to maneuver here at the table. But you do got that release right under here. There we go. And it pulls that right out like so. And then you can display it like that. So that will save you some wing space if you want to. Definitely something that might be, for somebody that doesn't have as much display space as others, it is an option there to do your Rattler to save a little bit of room. And it's tough with these big vehicles. I know how it goes for sure. So you do got that option there. Besides that, nothing too crazy. You got everything going on here. Would have been nice to have some like hooks or something you could put off here. Obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's the Joe universe. I could see Flint, putting up a grappling hook onto a wheel as it's coming in, and he can fly through the air. Something like that would have been kind of cool, but we got a lot of stuff with this Rattler. Between all those missiles, obviously the 3 figures, all their accessories, all the stickers, the patches. Don't forget the patches. How dare I forget the patches? There was a lot of different things that we got with this one here. So it's a really nice piece of business, and you could easily say this is probably the most iconic Cobra plane. The Night Raven is very iconic to me, but I came into Joe's a little bit later. This was off the shelves, I think, when I was collecting Joe's, or I just don't remember it. But the Night Raven was one I had as a kid that I really enjoyed. A little bit bigger than this bad boy, but very iconic vehicle. This makes a lot of sense for the Haslab, and I guess maybe that's where it goes. Of course, the Hiss, extremely iconic. The Dragonfly, very iconic. The Rattler, very iconic. And for a lot of people, apparently the Snowcat is not very iconic. It is for me, but that's just me personally once again. Be interested to see where those things go. I'm hoping we get the Tomahawk one of these days. I'd like to see that as well. The Cobra Moray be another good one I'd like to see. But you can't go wrong with this Rattler for sure. It's definitely a key piece for any G.I. Joe classified collection. A lot of fun, but it is big. It is going to take up some space, as you can see right here. It's about as big as me. So I still also have to figure out where I'm going to display it. I was talking about maybe hanging it from the ceiling. I'm not exactly sure, but the Rattler is finally here. I felt like I was the last person in the universe to get this. People started getting this 2 months ago. I don't know what the holdup was. Just happy mine finally came through the door here. But it is a big piece of business. It's not for everybody, but it's for me. And maybe if you're watching this, it is for you. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Where are you going to put this thing? Are you going to buy this on the aftermarket? What is your plans? Do you have any great Rattler memories as a kid? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to both my YouTube channel. We got videos every single day between those 2 channels. Patreon, YouTube channel membership's your best way to support the channel as well, as you guys know that by now. Podcast, Kyle Peterson Show, every single Tuesday wherever podcasts are found. Videocast on YouTube. Can't miss that, of course. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. So for the Cobra Rattler, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Give that wheel the time.